Take the blood out my hands, celebrate the liquid in a magical feast. I'm only out in the night. I am a terrible fright. I've always been a vampire.
Hey everyone, I am Dan, DP Dupreezy, and this is the HCW podcast, and this is the return of the Indy Spotlight Interviews. You may notice this is a bit of a different setting, because we've got a studio, finally. It's something I want to do for a while, and hopefully, with the improvement, we see more people join us on the journey of expanding the outlook on the British independent scene. Speaking of the independent scene, I am joined by a special guest. I am joined by none other than the Barbary Ape RICARDO BORG.
Thanks for having me, mate. Pleasure to be on. Been looking forward to this.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking for a little bit, not just about this, but we've been talking at various shows here and there. And it's good to actually get you in the studio and actually talk to you in a setting that's not necessarily a ring.
And what show did we first meet at, Dan?
Oh, that's a good question. That would be, I believe, a DKW show. It would have been, I think it was called like Loaded Lottery. I think it was called,
Yeah.
or Lethal Lottery, or was that TNA?
May last year. That's what I remember. That was the first time I was at DKW, and that was in Woodford
Mhm.
for that one.
Yeah, I remember because Anna got me a backstage pass.
Goldilocks Rocks on Instagram.
Shout
Shout out to the missus.
She got me a pass for my birthday,
Oh,
and then
that's nice.
yeah, and then that's how I met you and all the other guys.
Okay.
But of course, this is the Spotlight interview. We want to talk to you about you,
Cool.
your career, and just you in general. Just bear with me, microphone. So, what we always start with, or what I used to start with, and now I'm going to try and bring it back, is we're going to have a look back and rewind the clock a little bit. And to your memory, what is your first wrestling memory?
So one of my first wrestling memories is, I want to say it's Al Snow coming out with the European title, and every week around that time he had a he was celebrating whatever country he wanted to celebrate that week. I remember him coming out with like representing the Greek flag, but he had Grease from the film Grease, John Travolta, and all that, and it was dressed like that.
Yeah.
That, and unfortunately, Choppy Choppy Your Pee-Pee with Kai and Tai.
Yes.
that kind of
that era of wrestling. We will get to Al Snow actually, because there is a relevant thing with you with Al Snow. But before we get on to that, the question I have on here is, why did you want to be a pro wrestler or involved in pro wrestling to some degree?
Okay, so the thought of I've always wanted to be a wrestler, but the thought of it didn't seem possible. I thought I'd have to, like, this is my 6-year-old, 8-year-old brain thinking I'd have to go to America and find a place to live there, blah blah blah, all these obstacles and whatnot. I didn't know independent wrestling even existed.
Yeah.
And it's cool now that we've got this podcast and we're doing the Spotlight. But yeah, and up until I was about 15, 16, I had no idea it even existed. I've always liked sports. I've always watched wrestling. Love football, love basketball. I played that a lot in school. I did quite well for football for a while. I was doing that a lot once I left secondary school. In sixth form, I was part of this development team in Bushy. Our head coach was Dave Reddington, and at the time he was the coach for the Crystal Palace under-21s.
Okay.
So I had quite a good training facility and environment there. But I went so far with that. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something I wanted to do forever. It just feeds my habit of wanting to exercise and play some kind of competitive game sport. But then once I left sixth form, I never really wanted to go into university. Wasn't crazy on school, not like traumatic or anything like that, but I was just happy to get as soon as I could out of school, any schooling system. But then, of course, you feel a bit flat, you feel stuck, like a lot of people do, and you're wondering, what am I going to do next in my life? And while this is going on, I'm still watching Monday Night Raw and all that
Yeah.
in the background. I think about this time, I think this was about 2015. For some reason, I just got into looking at wrestling stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Whereas before that, I'd only be on YouTube to watch dance videos and stuff like that. Because as a hobby, I've also done a lot of dancing and street dancing and break dancing, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But somehow something must have popped up. I must have been watching like a Raw clip. I was like getting a little bit into wrestling on YouTube. And the next thing you've got the What Culture channel, obviously a huge wrestling channel on YouTube. And then Simon Miller had this series where he was doing some wrestling training. I thought, oh look, he's in Croydon and he's going to Al Snow's Wrestling Academy. And I thought that's what I'm doing. Pretty much that's what I'm doing. And some of it was proper hard to fathom, because he's talking about busting his head open and he's like taking some really nasty falls, and he's only like a couple of weeks in. But at this point in my life, I didn't have so many cares, and I just wanted to do something meaningful in my life. So I looked it up and tried to find out how to get down there, and at the time I was living in Watford. It's in Croydon, and it was about a 2.5-3 hour journey each way. But because, like I said before, I had no idea about an independent wrestling scene or anything. I thought, well, that's close then. It's not America.
Yeah.
And I have to add as well, I had no transportation skills whatsoever. I got lost. It took me 5 hours to get there.
Yeah.
It's lucky I left my house early, because I got there just in time.
Yeah.
And I was in a right state. I was super nervous. Almost had a little breakdown. And I had this little breakdown just as I was 20 minutes away from there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really nuts. And I was calling my mum and I was like, what am I doing here? And I don't know where I'm going. And I'm asking her for help. I'm like, there's not much I can do. I'm in Watford, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's universal as well. I think we all have moments where we sort of break down a little bit inside, and for whatever reasons we sort of question why we're there, or question what we're doing with ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think that's completely normal. With that in mind though as well, because obviously, as people will know who are watching this, because you're here, you are a pro wrestler and you've been doing it for a few years.
More than a few years, since 2016.
There you go.
Yeah. Nearly at 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming on a decade. So how long were you training before you had a first official match? And by official, I mean in front of an audience
paid
that isn't like friends and family.
Yeah, paid booking. I think just under a year.
Okay.
Roughly, yeah.
That's decent actually, because a lot of stories you hear, like people like training for a lot longer before or like they're doing like like friends and family shows and whatever. But
I'm gonna be to the point. I think if you're training 3 to 5 times a week and you're consistent, you're doing it every week, and you're doing homework outside, and you're taking in any homework that your coach has asked you to do, it should be, even 6 months isn't too bad if you're on it every week and you're picking it up quick. Obviously, people have different rates, they're going to pick it up, but definitely like 6 minimum a year, you should really be getting booked.
Yeah.
Or if not, they're really holding you back and you should go somewhere else. This is stuff you learn.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. So
But I've known people that have had a match within 3 months. I'm like, that's too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know your arm from your elbow yet, or you don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch, as they say. So
yeah, bit of an issue there. We don't know the difference with that. So before we delve into your career, because there's a fair bit to go through there. You've got a slight icebreaker as well, just a sort of normal
Cool.
question.
Yeah.
Who is on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? So you know the four presidents
Yeah,
in
yeah.
America.
Yeah.
Who are your four like top wrestlers over the eras of who's like maybe like the best in your opinion for like wrestling, or the ones who've inspired you the most, or
Oh boy. That's an obscene question. Because that's, to me, that's the same as asking someone their favorite bands or their movies, which, especially like films and music, I'm super obsessed with. But yeah, if you were to break it down into a category,
just
I think I want to give a shout out to British wrestlers because they don't get enough credit in this day and age. It's like your world of sport era. Marty Jones has helped me out a lot personally, and his work's fantastic. Mark Rollerball Rocco, he was incredible. Dave Fit Finley, and you could probably put either Big Daddy or Giant Haystacks for making it such a draw around that time. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'd give them the shout out for the Mount Rushmore.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you know, like everyone, like to the typical casual viewer, like you know, you think British wrestling, you think Big Daddy, you think Giant Haystacks, because they were, for lack of a better word, they were sort of like the comedic guys at the time because of their size and whatever. But at the same time, they're also iconic in that way because they brought eyes to the British wrestling scene. And that there isn't just wrestling in America. There's also wrestling in Britain on the British Isles. There's wrestling elsewhere in the world as well. But people weren't aware of that because everyone knows just the American scene or the main scene in America. So no, absolutely valid shouts. Absolutely valid shouts. Okay, so with that in mind, then let's go ahead and delve into the career. So you mentioned you were training.
Yeah.
You started in 2016.
Yeah.
How did your journey start in regards to like once you were training, like the academies, or like who were your startups?
Well, like who are my coaches and stuff.
Yeah.
So Al Snow at the time he hasn't bought OVW yet. So he was there quite a bit. He'd come down for a week and then he'd be back like a month later and kind of do the same thing again. And he's often looking at us, and they had a quite a strict grading system at the time, so he wanted to help us and see where we are, but help us get to the next level. For instance, a lot of places let you run the ropes super early, but he was really adamant. For 6 months, I'd never run the ropes. Most people can't even say that. It was all grappling, mat wrestling, and there's a safety element as well to it because a lot of people don't even know running the ropes itself is brutal, and you could slip out anytime, hit your head on the apron, or you can spin onto the outside.
Yeah, I mean we've seen so many times.
It's a big like safety thing, as if anything. So a lot of it was footwork, body control, basic holds, that kind of thing for 6 months, and just getting that down. And I was really enjoying it because to me, I thought it's an impossible reach. I mean, me now at 28 would tell myself then, I think at 18, that you could just save up and go to America anyway, which that is still something I'm working towards.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I've learned over the years, is the belief and whatnot. But yeah, so that was kind of like the journey. So Al Snow would come in, like I said, about a week every month. James Mason was there a lot at the time. Extremely influential figure on the British scene. I had there was a wrestler from Portugal called Red Eagle. He really kind of helped me find my love for technical wrestling and that kind of style.
Yeah.
Like your light, heavyweight, middleweight kind of style.
Yeah.
He was there quite a bit. Joey Legend was there, Just Joe from the Attitude Era, which was also cool because I saw him a few times.
Yeah.
in around that. Like I said about Al Snow earlier. Might be missing a few people. They had a lot of guest trainers.
Yeah.
I can't think right now, but those kind of stick out to me.
That's fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So as part of my research into this, I've had to go through, Instagram
Yeah.
or Facebook or whatever. And I like earliest things I can find, like wrestling related, are you competing as the big baby man.
Yeah.
So big baby man.
Yeah.
There. So like that character,
Yeah.
like what is the character, essentially? Because this is before
I
I
think
knew
you just
you.
said it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Oh boy.
But like,
Yeah.
what was the inspiration behind wanting to do that character?
So this is a little bit of a fast forward. So I started training with Lucha Britannia or London Lucha League in 2018. Around the start of then, and Al Snow kind of wasn't there as much anymore, and I just wanted to learn something a bit different as well. Never really was that familiar with the lucha style, so I wanted to. I'm always dabbling across places anyway, but I wanted to make an effort to meet those coaches, Greg Burridge and Gary Vanderhorn. Big baby man. How do I get there? I'm getting there. I mean, the short of it is, and this will be a theme throughout this podcast, is I had this idea in my head that doing what I do and being myself, my authentic self, wasn't enough. I had this for probably 8 years or 8.5 since I made that big announcement on Instagram a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the place I was coming from. I just wanted something outrageous to stand out. And in fairness, at Lucha, you got crazy gimmicks, so it did fit in quite well, and I had fun with it. But that was my idea at the time. Like, just get noticed.
Yeah.
Any cost. Get into something else. I think I'd need a proper psychological evaluation for the big baby band. Yeah. That's my mindset anyway.
Yeah, it's definitely a character, and it's definitely something that would stand out. In just general as well. Like, obviously, we'll get to another character you played as well, but who also stands out in their own way. But I was talking to a couple of people, and there was something that was mentioned that I tried to search and I couldn't find anything on it. Can you elaborate as to what is the Lucha Baby Playroom segment?
Oh my days. That was the height and also the downfall of that character at the same time. Very high, and yeah, absolutely destroyed it after that. That was some Attitude Era segment.
Oh, really?
Pretty much, it was just absolute chaos. The whole ring was a playpen. Goldie made an appearance. I wasn't dating her at that time.
Okay.
But we were shortly after. So I think that kind of makes everything more strange. So magic happens, even though it was a crazy, questionable segment. Love was sparked.
Yeah.
And we've been together since.
Yeah, I did. First guys, I guess.
Yeah. That was nuts. Like, I'll give you some of the highlights. So I was playing with loads of toys, and that, like, toys I've actually bought from home, like wrestling rings and like a ton of Lego and all sorts. And there was balloons put up on all the ring posts. At one point, there was this cheese meme that was going around. Do you remember when you put cheese in people's head?
Oh yeah.
You slap it on there. She put cheese on my head, and I started crying.
Right.
And then she started feeding me baby chocolate pudding.
Right.
This got nuts. I got in a lot of trouble for that. That's probably the thing I got in most trouble for, was chocolate pudding. Like, you don't want to stain the ring.
Oh, of course.
And even like I had there was baby blankets down. It still got little stains. So that was the thing I got most trouble for, not the fact that it turned into a Lego death match, pretty much. I got slammed on Lego boxes and Lego, and got smacked in the head with a giant rubber duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Like, shout out as well to just Lego in general, like that. Like,
Shout out to Lego.
It's in general, like that. That is
I don't
without
know if they'd endorse that.
Probably
I
not.
don't think they would.
But
It was awful.
just it's one of the worst I think I've seen like deathmatch implements that I've seen, apart from like the gruesome stuff. But like, you know, slamming someone on Lego, stomping on Lego, like you do it as a kid or young adult, and it kills in that moment. And it's just, I guess in the ring maybe it's different because the adrenaline, but
Yeah. I was more questioning my life choices than anything. I wasn't thinking so much about the fight and the
just the
beatdown and stuff, yeah.
the bit before it, you're like,
I was looking up at the ceiling when I got slammed and all the Lego, and I was looking to the side of me, and I see cheese, and I see chocolate pudding stains, and I see everything I used to play with when I was 6 smashed into pieces, and I see Goldie in the corner screaming, legitimate fear. 'Cause, yeah, that has to. I'm not gonna say I'm proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it either.
yeah,
I do think there's a space for it to be put up one day,
hmm
wherever the footage is in the Lucha archive.
yeah,
I think if they put that up, that'd be funny. I
yeah.
think people will get a kick
I
out
think,
of that.
yeah, I think it definitely needs to be made, you know, into the public sphere. Just, you know, there's
It's
like,
proper legend. It's like one of the most infamous moments in Resistance Gallery history, where they used to have the Lucha all the time, but it's closed down now. But that was a real vibe, like real hotspot in indie wrestling back in
yeah,
those years. Yeah.
yeah. I've seen a lot, I like for that famous, like
So,
the Kota
it's more
Ibushi,
legend than anything. But yeah,
yeah,
the Kota Ibushi,
the fireworks on the
fireworks
car,
that was on
and
the car,
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
street, yeah. So I'm up there with Kota Ibushi.
Yeah. So of course, that's the lucha side of things.
Yeah.
Of course, you also wrestled with Fight Star Pro,
Oh wow, yeah, you done your research, yeah, yeah,
and also in time in Portugal as well in CTW.
yeah, yeah.
Which I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's something in Portuguese. I can't remember. It's like I can't remember the name of it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna butcher it if I pronounce it. Don't worry.
Fair enough. But yeah. So how was that experience? Like getting with Fight Star and going to Portugal as well, and
So both of those came through the Al Snow Academy.
Mhm.
Fight Star, they were based in a town just outside Bournemouth. I mentioned Red Eagle earlier, a Portuguese trainer. He also runs his own promotion,
Mhm.
so he took me in. Had a really cool experience at a Lisbon Comic Con,
Yeah.
and I was there all week. We had a ring set up. We had a bit of a meet and greet throughout the day, but then I'd wrestle 3 matches per day throughout the week.
hmm
And at that time, that was a really good experience because I hadn't had many reps yet, and I've learned a lot in that week.
Yeah.
As well as took a good beating. But no, I learned a lot in that week, and it was good fun as well.
hmm
And it's a great, like, Comic-Con wrestling. They go together. It's superheroes, and I think every wrestler, every wrestling fan, that's like a connected interest. Is superheroes, comics,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
wrestling. They go hand in
Gaming.
hand.
Yeah.
Gaming. Yeah. Gaming too,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So well, there was again through research that I did. You did a zip line.
Yeah, I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Just reminded me of that. Yeah.
Yeah, at the expo
Yeah,
itself, and just seeing you in full get up as well,
Yeah.
like you and Chester.
Chester the Duck.
Yeah, just going on a zip line, just as if it's a normal everyday thing. Just
Well, yeah, it was a fun week. They were really cool there, that Comic Con in Lisbon, because they'd let us go around and try lots of things and, you know, skip queues and give us some freebies and that kind of thing. So just making the most of it. All there all day, every day. So I got to see everything.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't get to do, they didn't let me go into the FIFA tournament. I had a huge FIFA tournament. I
Yeah.
really wanted to get in that. They had this ginormous, like, cinema-sized screen.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think I would have got smashed anyway, so it was all right.
that's valid.
Yeah.
So what was it at the time? Like FIFA 17, FIFA 18,
Probably FIFA 18, 19 maybe.
or 19? Yeah. This is the year prior, isn't it? Yeah. Fair enough. But yeah, no. Obviously, Stuff as a big baby man. I've got a couple of like just highlights. Zipline, obviously at Games Expo. Having a standoff with a stuffed bear.
Yes. Yeah. Had a little promo, yeah.
Yeah. And also one that I just like, if I saw this in public, I wouldn't
That's
know
my
what to say.
childhood bear, by the way. His name's Junior. I
Ah,
still love him very much.
is it just Junior or like Ricardo
Just Junior.
Junior or okay?
Just Junior. I know some people are like, oh, why, what? You know, this is in 2005 I had him. He's like, oh, why do you name your Bear Factory Bear Junior and it's not Ricardo or anything like that? You can't just call people Junior. I'm like, yes, you can. You can call people Junior.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure you've seen Sopranos.
Yeah.
Uncle June. I'm pretty sure he's just
Junior.
Junior. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So deal with it, people.
And perhaps the, dare I say, oddest maybe thing that I've seen, because obviously other than the playrooms, because that's not online.
Right.
Rubbing your, I guess, bare stomach against the car window.
I'm trying to remember that.
I'm assuming it was your car, but
No comment. No comment.
it's just,
Wow.
you walk up to it like, oh, car window, and then you start like unbuttoning your top, and then it's like,
Like, chillax. Yeah. I've made questionable choices. I get it. I was only a young lad.
fair enough.
Still am, but still, I'm learning.
So we move on to EWE,
Yeah.
Elite Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah.
So you did start off there as well as a baby man,
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
but it was like short lived and
Yeah.
So and then you evolved into, I guess, a
The
more
duck guy,
adult
pretty much.
version.
People
Yeah.
kind of see me as the duck guy. I went from being a baby man and then end up pushing more into, because I always had Chest of the Duck.
Mm-hmm.
And people were always attached to that and they weren't so much into the baby stuff, so I ended up becoming a duck guy. So yeah,
Fair
it
enough.
did evolve a little bit. I wasn't as immature and
He got
whatnot.
older.
Yeah, pretty much.
Big adult man.
That's probably the realest thing about the whole arc that we're going through is maturity.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not ashamed of it, because like some of it's cringe. I look back on it, I think it's absolute cringe what I did, but it also helped me
Be
get a
who
lot
you
of
are now.
experience and find my feet and
Yeah.
get more confidence and whatnot.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I like the
Like if you didn't do
Yeah.
back then, you might still be a bit held back now. Like like it.
yeah, who knows.
If you don't live life to its fullest, sort of.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I always try and take chances and little risks and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? If it pays off, if it pays off, it pays off. Like it did for you when you won the light heavyweight title in EWE.
Yeah. Sorry, what's your question about EWE? Well, I'm there.
Yeah, you're just that you're there generally. Of course, you won the light heavyweight title.
Yeah.
After a long-standing feud.
Yeah, that was fun with Roth.
Yes.
Alexander Roth. Yeah.
Yeah, the Wolf
Really
of
enjoyed that.
Wall Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, like, so how was that experience of just, finding out you're gonna win a title? Like, how far back was that call? Like, was it a sort of like on day of we found out, or?
Well, so to begin with, so in July 2019, I think that's when EWE started. There was a
Damn it, young.
there was a tournament for 4 weeks, so every Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
and I somehow wrestled Roth twice. Or was it 3 times? No, I somehow wrestled him 3 times within these 4 weeks.
Okay.
And so I beat him the first time, and that had me qualified.
Yeah.
And then there was someone dropped out, someone got injured, and so he kind of got a second chance. I believe he beat me the second time, and then there was a third time. I think I got the win, and then I wrestled William Hudson Alexander Moore, otherwise known as Wham.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool dude, and he's getting really good as well.
Yeah.
I think I had him in the final, and then he was the first light heavyweight champion for EWE. And then me and Roth kind of like kept bumping into each other for a few years. Obviously had the breakover lockdown. I think it was 22, late 22. I finally had I wrestled him. Roth got the title off Wham.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had it for a really long time. And then I finally got a big match, late 22. And I'd already lost in a title match earlier that year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got this big rematch. all of that was really good fun. I mean, there was I took an awful beat down like a month or two before that show,
Yeah.
where because I had a hand injury just before lockdown.
Yeah.
I broke my scaphoid.
All
I
right.
broke it in training. I can't remember how I did it. I just landed funny on it. I didn't think much of it at the time. But yeah, they said it was quite a bad break, and this was just before lockdown, and so I couldn't get seen. And they said I needed surgery, but I couldn't get the surgery, and I had to wait 8 months. And by the time 8 months had rolled by, I was in the hospital gown thing, and I was all like on the bed ready to get seen. And like, no, it's too late now. Like, it's no point having surgery. It's kind of healed by itself, awkwardly. But you're like, if we give you surgery, at best it will be the same condition, and obviously you don't really want to find out what's worse.
No, of course
you don't
not.
want to make it worse.
Yeah.
So that was super frustrating. It took me a while to what should have been dealt with quite, in a couple of months, became a really persistent injury, and I really had to mix up my training and be a lot more cautious. It's not too bad these days. I've had a few injuries, but anyway, the point is, like a month or two before I finally beat Roth for the title, he did this like wicked beat down on me, and he got the steel chair and he had it like put around my arm and hand, and I think he jumped off the top and stomped that, and that absolutely sucked. And I was really just adamant about making sure I could wrestle for that next one. And I had to have it put back in a sling and the cast and all that stuff again. And I think just the angst I had throughout lockdown, and also a little bit coming back in into wrestling again, and all that drive I had, I think it was about time. It was due, it's, character building, and where I wasn't so much worried about being a crazy over the top character, and that was a good moment for me that I really locked in, and I felt like I deserved that title win then.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I fought hard for that one as well. I think he hit his head on the ring post, I remember. And that was the first time I'd ever seen someone I'd wrestle with like proper split open their head on a ring post like that. I mean, I've seen, you get all sorts, you see blood and you see all sorts of injuries happen, but that's probably the biggest cut I'd seen in a match. Yeah, that was horrific for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's fantastic, Rough, and I always feel like every time I wrestle him, I level up, I step up, because he's sharp, and you have to really bring your game against him.
Absolutely.
So yeah, good memories.
Yeah, I got no bad words either for Roth. Like, he's a phenomenal athlete. So yeah, so you touched over, the pandemic era anyway. So we can skip by that really, because not everyone has a pleasant time during it because of whatever reasons.
Yeah.
But so where are we? So post pandemic, maybe it started before. I'm not entirely sure on timeline. But Lucha Britannia, and obviously, you're a duck guy, and somewhere on the line spawned a masked luchador.
Oh yes, that's 23.
That's 23.
Timeline, yeah.
Oh wow.
So what I just mentioned was 22.
Yeah.
And there wasn't. I was taking wrestling bookings in 21, but it was a bit more scarce, and obviously promotions weren't sure about running and whatnot. But 22 onwards was really active again.
That's fine. It works that way.
Somewhere in 23, there was a big Domino's promotion sponsor with Lucha Britannia, and they just made a big comeback because they've been gone for a few years, and they changed location because they lost, like I said earlier, they lost Resistance Gallery.
Yeah.
And they had this new home, at least for this time being anyway. They had Village Underground.
Yeah.
And they had this big sponsorship with Domino's, and it was really cool. They had these like luchadors, these massive banners coming down across the wall. And I wasn't even supposed to be on that show. and I just wanted to say hi and see how they're doing. 'Cause I hadn't seen them in a while,
Yeah.
and then they asked if I wanted to be on it, but like you need a mask and you know we like you being a duck guy, but we want you to be a lucha duck guy. And
Yeah.
so that's pretty much how that started,
Yeah.
and that just really took off
Yeah.
with
'Cause
that
I-
with that show and that environment, that crowd. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Because I was gonna say I've only been to one Lucha Britannia show, but I do follow it,
yeah,
and it does seem like your character. I'll get it wrong. Petito Pelagroso.
yeah.
Okay.
The Dangerous Duckling.
Yeah. Is one of the most over acts that I've seen there. Like that I've seen during the one show I went to, but also heard as well. Like one of the biggest reactions as well from the crowds that are there. Like it resonates so well with the crowds, and they really get behind Lucha Duck guy.
Yeah.
Who comes out erratic, very spontaneous.
I like to think there's an element of swag as well.
Yeah, there is a little bit of suave and.
I think I referenced earlier that I used to do a lot of dancing.
Mhm.
It also kind of became an outlet for me to get a bit funky
Yeah.
with the people, and that's something that got seen quick,
Mm-hmm.
and it's become more in demand. No, it's cool. I really appreciate the love,
Yeah.
Petito.
So speaking of love, we now go on to a very stark different character,
Yeah.
the anti-human.
Yeah.
Who comes out in the full camo duck hockey mask.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks, Jason Voorhees crossover
Yeah.
mask. Yeah.
What was, I guess, again, the inspiration behind that? Because it's, to me, whenever I think of it and the way you did promos as that character, and for full transparency, I've only seen Ricardo as that character, and once as Petito, but
around that time period, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like the anti-human character was just so different to me that I didn't know how to describe it the first time I saw it. And to me, it gave off very, Ultimate Warrior vibes in terms of the promos.
Right, yeah.
Like, sort of like, they make sense in the context, but, how Warrior used to always talk about, the elephants and the oncoming tirades and.
Yeah.
But, like, it made no sense,
characters.
his stuff. But, like, what inspired you to that character?
I think at the time, it's like when I was talking about my career in life and the maturity in my arc.
Mm-hmm.
I think in my head I was thinking that I want to be taken a bit more seriously, but I still couldn't let go of the duck stuff subconsciously, and I still didn't have that. It's there the whole time, but you're just not looking at it. But really, I'm still not just being true to myself and doing what I know I can do very well, which is just wrestle at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right, so, but yeah, I just wanted something a bit more edge and just something to get people's attention. But this time, instead of it being fun and outrageous, it's gonna be like dark and sinister and creepy and that kind of vibe.
Yeah. It definitely fits the vibe of that.
Yeah, there's some genuine anger, there's some genuine anger, hatred, bitterness behind it, because I was out to prove a point.
Yeah.
But fast forward later to where I'm sure we'll get to, I can do that and still be positive. But the point back then, that's why I was.
Yeah.
I was thinking, don't let go of the duck stuff, and also you got to bear in mind when you're getting when people start pigeonholing you as well, you want to exceed expectations, so that's also kind of where it comes from as well. But no, I totally enjoyed all of that. But go on, tell me more about your experience and what you remember.
Yeah, I mean, every time I saw the anti-human Ricardo Borg, I was often left feeling odd. Like, in a way that I didn't know how to describe what I'd just seen.
Yeah.
Like, and even to this day, I still, if I saw him again, I wouldn't know how to describe what I've just seen.
Yeah.
Like, I can describe what he wears, how he walks, how he talks.
Tell the people that don't know. So I'll be interested in your perspective.
So, the anti-human Ricardo Borg, who I've only seen through DKW. I know he's wrestled elsewhere as the character, but the anti-human is a very different character.
Start with the look.
Yeah.
So
So
you said about the hockey mask.
yeah, we've got the duck hockey mask, and we got the fully camo jacket as well, with the camo trousers as well, and combat boots. Like, the look itself is haunting in a sense, and the way that he walks and gets almost in your face, like, and just shouts at you, like something to do with, something to do with ducks or cracking or something. And he'll just shout at you, and he'll say,
And you took a few shouts, didn't you?
oh yeah, just sort of wide eyed, like,
I didn't know you back then.
yeah.
You were a target to me.
Yeah. I think nowadays, I think the target is mainly, the kids who react, I think, a lot better than the adults do, to the character.
Right.
They're the ones who might actually cry at this stuff. Like,
I don't know. I've made a few adults saw themselves.
But I do want to fast forward a little bit as well.
Okay.
So, to end of the year, 2024, DKW Space Jam. You're fighting Champagne Charlie.
Yeah.
Before this, you've lost him before in I think it was June. I could be wrong on that. But this time it was for the title, and to everyone's shock, mine included, you actually won the title. You won the DKW British title.
Why's that a shock?
Because at the time I just thought Champagne Charlie is like the main guy, like he's like the face of the company.
Yeah, but ability wise and skill level.
Oh no,
you know what I
absolutely,
mean?
absolutely.
And the condition I've kept myself in.
Mm-hmm.
Hey ho.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, the rope helped as well.
Yeah. I mean,
which
the rope. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
You
care.
you deny it, though. Like,
I won't deny it.
You-
I did a lot of cheating.
No, but how was that experience? Like, being told you're winning the world title, like, just the moment after winning it as well. Just
I just choked him. That's it. I just choked him. I can't- You watch the clip back and watch his eyes roll to the back of his head when I'm choking him. I mean, I'm smiling about it, but it's an insecurity thing. And what I like that you described to the people about me being in the face paint and stuff, and this is something I've thought of recently, is, and I was in camo. Everything I've been saying, from Baby Man, being a duck guy, doing this weird psycho camo duck guy thing,
Mhm.
especially the camo and the face paint, is that I'm hiding from people. It's just an insecurity. It's like an imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
I'm hiding behind this sheet, and I like the fact now, when I look back, I've completely washed all that off, washed all the sin away, if you like. I won't get too holy and whatnot.
Mhm.
And now I'm comfortable with who I am. I don't have the need to choke people with a rope anymore, or hit them with a tree trunk or a stick, or anything like that.
You sort of self-cleansed and just
Yeah.
Of course, though, towards the middle of this year,
Yeah.
2025, post went out on Instagram saying, I make some changes.
Yeah.
Things have got to change.
Yeah.
On self-reflection, I've got to just change who I am and change how I do things.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not changing who I am. That was the problem.
Yeah.
Is that I kept thinking I needed to change. It's the imposter syndrome. Well, I could just been Ricardo the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, the way I am when I'm training, it's intense. I'm resilient. I'm constant. I don't think more people know now, but for a long time, it's no one's fault. I allowed myself to be looked down because I wasn't highlighting my authentic self and all the strengths and how much detail I put into the wrestling itself. Like I said, about my skill level and whatnot. And all the coaches I've had, that's really, really helped me.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. I've told people they're going to see changes, But for me, the change is being myself, but I'm not changing into a different incarnation of a character. Like that's dead. Gimmick character, dead. It's just Ricardo. What you see is what you get.
Yeah,
Take
absolutely.
it or leave it, and I've gotten a lot of comfort out of that in my life as well as in my career. I don't feel I have to impress so much. Like this is me. I'm comfortable with it.
You're embracing who you are.
Confident in my abilities. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
See, so with that in mind, obviously nowadays you're coming out with the Gibraltarian flag because you are from Gibraltar.
Representing my heritage, my family. It's also a tribute to my dad who died a couple of years ago. So it's a really personal story that I'm glad a lot of people have come along with, and they're not too hurt about losing the duck character. I still have Petito Pelagroso for Lucha Britannia, but I like that because at least that's its own world, colourful, fun Mexican wrestling world. And that mask, the duck mask, and the fluffy coat and everything. That's that thing. And Ricardo, without it, is me, and that's what you'll get.
Absolutely,
my whole personal story and all my trials and tribulations.
Fair enough. So with that in mind, that's all I had pretty much. But I've got some questions that were asked as well. So firstly, well, it's already covered, but it's from Dan Bells, who says, "Why did you retire the Inhuman gimmick? It was so over." Which we already sort of covered anyway.
No, I'll answer that because he asked the question.
Yeah.
Who wrote that to you?
Dan Bells 23.
Dan Bells 23. So I can give two answers. The first answer is what we just discussed, my statement, and where I want to go with my life and career, and having me being a bit more of an open book, and me showing what I can do to its fullest. To keep pushing to my full potential. Because I honestly believe I can be signed on for a television contract one day. And it's I'm in good health. I think my ability is good enough to get there. And what it's also done, pushing myself, it's made me think less about what other people are doing as well. I think this is where some of the insecurity comes from. You're comparing yourself too much to other people. But now I'm really more just thinking I've got to just keep getting better day by day to yourself, try and push your own goals. And I've already seen that. It's only been a couple months since I posted that, and I've already seen the interest spark up. I need to talk about my new tag buddy in a minute, David Bavara.
Yep.
But so the first point is the statement to Dan's question. Second, I think like most great things in wrestling, you never want people to be tired of it.
No.
So that was a factor as well. And I've been beating up Big O for 6+ months, and it was his time. And I think it was cool that he beat the big bad monster of DKW.
Yeah.
And it's not just he won the championship; he's beaten down this evil that had been running roughshod in the promotion.
Yeah.
So I think it was cool, and I think it was well built. It was good timing. I think that's how best stories go, is where they just leave just before they get tired, but they give you a little bit of interest to think about when it's gone.
Yeah.
But you saw enough of it to enjoy and have fun memories of.
Yeah, absolutely. And for anyone wondering, that is one of the latest DKW shows. It was called. I'll write on the screen at some point. But it was a show in June this year. Phenomenal match between Ricardo here and Big O, who is now the current British champion. Phenomenal match. Check it out if you can. It's on YouTube for free, so why not?
Yeah.
So with that in mind though, we'll get to Tapano in a minute. This is from George Brooker at the What Do You Call It podcast.
Yeah.
He asked, "What is your favorite Mighty Ducks film?"
The first one. I have seen 2 and 3, but for me, it all goes pretty downhill after the first one. The first one's iconic, yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And finally, from TJ Mitchell PW.
Okay.
Who is a dream opponent for you in Brit Wrest or wrestling as a whole? I think that means current stuff.
Yeah. In terms of like top pick, it's Randy Orton. I mean, I admire him a lot anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He would have been on a Mount Rushmore in terms of at least childhood stars that I looked up to.
Yeah.
He'll be up there on the British wrestling scene. That's a hard one. I've not wrestled Shah Samuels before, and he's been my coach ever since lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a lot of respect for him. And again, similar to like I said about Roth, I know. I mean, I've rolled around with him a few times in training, but I know on a big match, I'd be elevated, and I'd learn a lot more, and I'd step up just being in the ring with him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, probably him.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is absolutely fair. And just one more extra question I had here on my list. What is your favourite kind of bird or slash duck or slash fowl?
That is a good question. No, that is actually a hobby of mine. I do love going to see a pond every week.
Mm-hmm.
I do make that a point out of doing that. That's a bit like my church. Love a mallard duck.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a duck, this is a goose, but I like the Egyptian goose. They're really cool.
Yeah.
Canada geese.
Mm-hmm.
They're so aggressive. I love it. The tufted duck, one with the slicked hair.
Oh,
I've got some of the tufted duck look today. See? And it flicks at the
yeah.
little bit there. So.
Fair enough. But no, let's talk about your current situation and that you're part of the Stronghold.
So about a month or two ago, I think about 2 months now, I was watching a talented young wrestler called David Bavara. He's Maltese chap. He's known as the Maltese Mountain / the Slam King.
Mm-hmm.
I'd seen him wrestle a few times. We've been on the same shows. I hadn't really spoke to him too much, and there's not really too much I could tell you about my thought process, except for I saw something there, us being a tag team. I am also Maltese. I'm like a quarter Maltese, and my surname's is a Maltese name is Borg.
Mm-hmm.
In Gibraltar, it's Borge.
Okay.
And like there, it's Borg, and there's a lot of history with our two countries. There's a lot of Maltese people that came over to Gibraltar in the 18th century, and we're both our countries are really famous for strategic military defenses, fortifications, that kind of thing. So that's where the Stronghold name comes from.
Fair enough.
And plus, we're strong dudes and
yeah,
put a slap on a good hold, so it works both ways there. Maybe like how they say you connect to people, whether it's television or real life, people that you feel look a bit like you. I feel like we could be related.
Yeah,
we actually could be related as well. That's the thing. We could be cousins.
Yeah,
I've got a really huge family tree. I don't know a lot of my family still.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad was the oldest out of 10.
Oh wow.
And all of them have got kids, and a lot of them have got kids, and there's a lot of branches and whatnot.
Wow.
Of people. But anyway, so I just had a chat with him one time. I think we were both on EWE.
Mm-hmm.
And I just said to him that I feel we could be like the British Bulldogs in terms of that dynamic of having a big powerhouse wrestler and intense grappler.
I thought
But with a Mediterranean vibe.
I was
you could say that.
No, I thought you were gonna say, I think we could be related.
Well, I told him this. I didn't want to start him straight away.
Are you my brother?
You're my brother. No. But yeah, he was super chuffed about it. We've both enjoyed training and working together. We've only had one match together so far, but we knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
we've already got a new finishing maneuver that's been catching people's attention, called the Red Tower. That's a famous defense unit in Malta, and it's it's a take on the Doomsday device.
Yeah.
And it's like a last ride, and I come off the top with a clothesline. Last ride powerbomb, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Yeah. So I'm chuffed, and that's gotten a lot of good reception as well.
Yeah.
Positive feedback, and you'll see a lot of us more in the future for sure.
Absolutely. So with that in mind, that does bring an end to this time. Any closing remarks that you want to have? Do you want to call out anyone on the scene, or any words for any particular individuals, or shout out anyone?
Calling out, shout out to David Bavara because he's really talented. I'd like to call out the tag team division as a whole, because I mean, you can tell me it's lacking. It's shallow. It's dire. Like, name me some of your favorite tag teams on the British wrestling scene.
British scene. Who we got?
Sunshine Machine, maybe. You know, they're
Yeah.
a good tag.
Lycos Gym.
Lycos Gym are decent.
True and Lacey.
Yeah, they're not too bad. They're pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, like Bowen knows three. Like, I'm struggling to come up with a name
Well,
off
that's
the
what I
top of
mean.
my head.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How good are they if they're only amongst their own space?
Yeah, absolutely.
Massive man and this guy that will run through you and stretch you. Like, yeah, I think people are in for a shock once we get put on those platforms. I know we're going to keep knocking it out the park.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited.
Putting the scene on notice.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram, the Barbary Ape. I put all my dates and shows and whatnot up on there.
That's how I found it.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. And I think that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
This is flying by. Really enjoyed this.
You've got
Thank you.
A merch store.
Good point. I've got a merch store. The Barbary Ape.bigcartel.com. I've got a really cool picture. He's a DKW talent, Jaden. Missile dropkick off the top rope. Kick goes right into his face, and he got the boot right there.
Yeah.
And I'll sign and whatever message on that photo for you. Yeah.
But no, as we've alluded to, that is the end of our time here. I've been Dan DP Tabrizi. I've been joined by the wonderful Ricardo Borg.
Thank you.
As always, follow us on social media everywhere: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Blue Sky, TikTok, etc. We're all there, and yeah, follow Ricardo on his social as well. And yeah, that brings us into this. Goodbye.
I've always been a vampire.